This is Down Home Sports, covering the best sports and student athletes in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank with ATM Live, powered by the people. Not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. The United States Marine Corps, the fighting spirit of an entire nation. Doe City Pizza and Burgers. For the best in artisan pizza and burgers, go to Doe City in Red Oak, Texas, across from the high school. It is delicious.
And Superstar Collision, located on Highway 67 in Cedar Hill. To get it done right, choose Superstar Collision for your automotive repairs. Hey, folks, guess what? The one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Keith Howard with us tonight, EnnisTennis. And I tell you what, folks, Coach, it's been a great season for your program. You've had some ups, you've had some downs, but overall, you know, you kind of reloaded this year. But just talk about the grit and determination for your tennis team.
Oh man, I can't be thankful enough. Me and Coach Johnson were my assistant. We're just talking about the other day about how we'd graduated 8 seniors, and we're looking to graduate another 8 this year. And we just get too ahead of ourselves. And then I told him we never sit back and just go, man, we should be real thankful for what we've accomplished thus far. And yeah, this year, you know, just all the teams in our district really, but especially Course County, Midlothian, you know, I don't know. I think we just escaped them, to be honest. To say we're better than them, I don't even know if that's true. We were just better on that day when it counted. And so, yeah, I can't we're playing with house money coming into the spring and going into the spring tournament. The draws pretty much are a mirror of what I've been saying all year. Of course, the County Midlothian's girls are they're just a little bit better than ours, so they're seated higher in the draws, and then our guys are seated higher in some other draws. So we'll see how it turns out. You know, we're going to try to win the draws we're favored in, and we're going to try to upset them. And I'm sure Sam at Midlothian and Chad in Course County and Cleveland's got some players, and man, Red Oak's got a couple. It's going to be exciting. So we don't have to be a whole lot better, just a little better, you know.
Well, yeah, no, you just got you could be one serve better. That'd be good.
Yeah,
right. But no, just talk about this because it kind of translates to other sports, right? You know, cross country is one of those sports where nobody can just carry you. I think tennis is the same way. You know, you hear about the quarterback carried the team, the pitcher carried the team. You can't say that in these two sports. You know, you might have somebody that does great individually, but for that team championship, those 3-4 teams are highly important.
And I'll be honest, I think tennis may be, especially team tennis, may be the only sport where the match is going to come down to your bottom players. The way it's designed, your top players go out there and play doubles. Then you start at the top, they play singles, they're off the court. So if it's a real close match, it always comes down like your 5 and 6 guy or girl. There's not another sport, you know, in football. You're not looking at your backup all the time to win games. In basketball, the people off the the bench. But in tennis, if you're going to win a close match, you got to be strong at the bottom, and those matches count just as much. And you know, like I said, I wouldn't even. I guess the older I get, maybe the more humble I am, I guess. But I wouldn't even say we're better than them. Maybe we got a little lucky this year, but come on, we're going to take it and keep trying to. We're going to keep trying to build on it. You know, we're going to keep trying to finish until they beat us. So,
well, the bad thing is with the district that y'all been in for the longest time right now, right? You mentioned that, you know, 1, 2, 3 right there. Y'all kind of bang up on each other and put each other to the test. Does that not help with your underclassmen knowing the pressure of trying to keep, you know, playing these teams like that and playing high quality tennis? Does that not help them vault early in the season?
I think it does. And, you know, even with the new district, Midlothian's not in our new district. And just to show you how much I think of Midlothian, I think me and Sam may play each other twice in the preseason just to get our teams ready for our new districts, because I don't think his kids hate mine or anything, but man, they hate to lose to us, and we hate to lose to them. And it makes for a really good competitive atmosphere. And, you know, it's just great. Yeah, it does. It makes your teams better when they have to play tougher teams. So, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like being a young coach. You want to win all the time, right? You know, young coaches really want to win. Everybody wants to win, don't get me wrong. But,
yeah,
you know, you kind of learn to work on some other things as well as you get a little seasoned. But, you know, one of the big things to me is just the way that y'all handle things there with your staff and with these kids. Talk about, you know, and we had your staff on a while back, but I want to touch on them again, because you can't have programs like this without multiple people, without booster clubs doing the right things. And, you know, I know you're proud of those people as much as you are these kids.
It's the reason. It's the reason we're as successful as we are. Some people just say that, but like it's not common in any sport to have a good assistant and them be there more than 2 or 3 years. Because normally someone's you know, coming in trying to take them away. And I think a couple schools has tried to hire Coach Johnson away from me, and I think same thing with Coach Dawson at the junior high, and I really do believe both those people could be head coaches. And then especially Coach Johnson, he's been with me 16 years. Yeah. And, you know, the way we like to look at it, he's been with me 26, because he was a freshman in high school when I started coaching, and I was real fiery, or whatever you call it. Passionate is the word. Yeah. He definitely has lived through all the phases of Coach Howard, and he keeps me on my toes and reminds me. And, you know, I can't imagine. One day I'll have to maybe run the program without him, but, man, I hope not. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot to ask. Me and him talk about it all the time. I get all the awards, and I told him that the day I don't get up there and mention him first, and I'd get out of here, you know. But my name will always be on the plaque, and that's
they're right there with you.
That's just tough, you know. I'm going to get all the awards, and I tell them, you know, hopefully I'm still working hard and earn their respect. Even though I coach both of them, I still feel like I need to earn their respect every day. And I'm so grateful to have those assistants. And it's not just me talking. I think you could interview Corsicana, you can interview Midlothian, and all the schools around it, and they'll say the same thing. It's unheard of, really, to have 2 tennis coaches, and we have 3, and all 3 have played tennis. I'm talking about. It's I'm just so lucky to be in a place and be able to grow up here in this town, and to have the support that we have. Kind of feel guilty if we weren't so successful. You know what I'm saying? Hey. Like they've given us everything. So it's our new saying is instead of embrace the struggle, it's heavy is the head that wears the crown. And
amen.
And we're the ones wearing the crown. And I told my team, some people may take that as arrogance, but it's not arrogance. It's humble, because a humble head's a bowed head, and you're thankful for what you got. And now we're going to go out and go for more. But
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Humble is the head. You know.
Oh yeah.
Heavy
is the crown.
And man, like you asked me a question, but my assistants, man, they do a great job. Great job. They probably coach more than I do at this stage in my career.
Not only soccer figured out if you have some people over at junior high, you know, now we got junior high soccer in the area. That's always fun, but it took them a while to catch on. But no, I mean, when you talk about this and we talk about everything over in Ennis and the facilities and everything that the ISD's been able to do, some of that's a product of winning. Some of that's a product of believing in a program. A lot more than that than winning. And, when you've got a town that believes in this, does it not make it easier to have those kids? Because who would think Ennis, Texas, Midlothian, a bunch of tennis players, and of course, Canna, anybody in the district is out there competing on a regular basis with people like Holland Park, all those north of 20 teams, but are competing with them not only there, but going further and playing collegiate tennis. We've got some kids that have gone into the pros, that were ranked at a certain point. So I think the highest ranked person from Ellis County I found there was somebody in the top 30 at one point, and on the tour. It's just pretty amazing what y'all are able to do with an environment that is not tennis driven, really. We're football, baseball, basketball. But talk about that for a minute and what that means to you being a coach, that these kids are involved with it. They want to make that tennis team.
Well, that's the next thing I always bring up too is the parents. Every coach everybody's always talking about the parents, but I always say it if I ever in front of the school board or we're being recognized, that's the first people I think, because man, I don't have all the answers, and after 26 years, I'm still real rough around the edges at times and a tough guy to get along with. But the Ennis parents, I'd like to think not just in tennis, in a lot of sports. Coach Willingham, I think, is the oldest tenure coach here, and he's defensive coordinator, and he always has said it, and I believe it. There's something about an Ennis kid. And I think what it is, though, it's not the kid so much as is the parent. They let you coach them, and they let you coach them hard. I've made plenty of mistakes in my years, plenty. But you've never read about them or heard about them or anything, because, parents will come have a conference with you. We'll get on the same page, and they still allow you to really coach your kid hard. And that's when you can get the most out of a kid. And, it's not even about the sport you coach. It's just, being able to teach them those life lessons that, life's tough. So you're trying to make them tough. And that's the key. Like tennis and Ennis, I would say when I was in high school, it wasn't a big deal. And then a guy named Johnny Cody built that tennis center, not to make money, just because he loved tennis. And then next thing you know, he sells it to the school, and that changes a lot of stuff. And I've never thought about it as pressure, to be honest with you. But if you got a facility like that, and you got a coaching staff, you got people behind you, then, man, if you're not winning, I've been a lot of people would like to be in my position. So I don't take it for granted. And, I love being in Ennis. I think I'll be here. I know me and Coach Harrell were talking about it, and everybody asks, how long is Coach Harrell going to coach? And I believe you'll find him on that football field one day, and that'll be his dream. And I didn't get that at first, but now I realize this is what God wants me to do, is coach tennis. So most people know when they can retire and all that good stuff. Man, I haven't even looked at that. I don't even know if you call this work, what I do. You think about, you wake up every day and you play tennis or teach kids tennis. What else?
Not a great life.
But
no, but you're developing young people. You're developing young people into, great young men and women that are going to give back to society in a special way. And not only that, but, achieve their dreams. Because I think if you can learn something like this, it's like I talked about wrestling a while back. A quarter of an inch from your hand being from your elbow to your forearm can make the biggest difference there. A quarter of an inch on the way the racket's twisted makes a massive difference. So, and thank goodness y'all have those facilities, because it looks like rain for the district match. So we may be going indoors for that. But do what?
I said, well, that's, you're talking about the school district and everything. that just shows you. And we've had some great ADs, but our AD right now, Coach Drake, not just in tennis, but man, all the sports. We've never had AD. He is so on top of it. And like I said, I've been fortunate to work just for 3 ADs, you know, and how many coaches can say that? Most coaches have worked several ADs. I've worked every AD I've ever worked for has supported me, and I can't thank them enough. And then you talk about that rain. Coach Drake, I'd mentioned to him that the lights were a little dim in there, maybe need some cleaning. And then the next thing you know, during spring break, man, they replaced every bulb in the indoor. And that just, you know, that's not just Coach Drake. That's people higher than him. You know, he's got to get approved for that and everything. But that just shows how he just, you know, he just loves helping programs, you know, being able to succeed, you know, and that we're just, like I said, if we're not winning, I'd feel, man, they're setting us up to win. So I don't know.
Heavy as the crown. Heavy's the head.
Yeah. You don't want to put your pressure on the kids, but you want, man, look, God, we got a lot, you know, we don't have any excuses really. So we'll see how it all shakes out. But you know, the toughest thing we have, and I'm sure it wears on the kids, is this ain't even a problem. But you know, everybody wants to beat you. Yeah. And that's name a sport where they don't beat you, you know?
No, but you know, but does that also transform these kids a little bit too? Early on, if you play tennis in Ennis, you know the history of the program. You know.
And I'll be honest with you, and people don't believe this, especially coaches that have been around me. I'm super competitive, but I think what gives us the edge is that I'm tough to deal with in practice. But match starts, if the kids lose, they win or lose. I've never, not one time in 26 years, been mad at a kid because he lost.
Yeah,
they're going to be disappointed. My job's to motivate them and try to make them to want to play more and practice more. And then, you know, I tell them every year, if you played for us for 4 years, you can go play college tennis. And we got a pretty good success rate as far as kids going on. And I think we may have 2 or 3 out of the 8 go play college tennis this year. They're, you know, it's going to be some different smaller schools, some schools you never heard of. Which is fine. I told them that's fine. If they're paying you money, let's go.
Well, if they have the degree program, and that's one thing I don't think a lot of people look at either, is does that school give that kid the degree program they want, you know, outside of things as well. And
I got to tell you this too. Now that as far as academic all-state every year, this year may be a record. We have 8 seniors and 7 of them are academic all-state. So when you're academic all-state, there's a lot of schools, even if they're non-athletic scholarship schools, they can find some academic scholarships for those kids that are making, you know, above a 92 average. And I think we went to figure our average. You got to have a 92 to be academic all-state. But out of those 8 kids, only one of them didn't get it. But the average between the 8 of them was like a 96. Just crazy. There's kids that have over 100 average. Super proud of them. And to try to still not just play sports, but you're playing, like you said, you're playing on the team where everybody's chasing you. So that's why all that pressure, when we show up Tuesday, hey, we just go out there and play, and win or lose, I really can live with it, because those seniors, they've made it to the finish line. They've made 4 years of not letting me run them off. So that means wherever they go to school, that coach won't be able to run them off. When they get a job, that boss won't run them off. I think it helps them be successful. You know, I'm never tough on them just to be tough on them. You know, every kid and every parent knows I love their kid. I treat them like my own, which they wish I wouldn't. Sometimes I talk to them like my own, which I shouldn't. But it works out good for us, like I said, because those parents allow me to do that, and it's worked out so far.
Coach, you know how much we love you here, and all this great stuff that you've been able to accomplish over the years. That just tops the cake right there for me. It's not just all about the sport. It's about a good education and giving the ability for people to go further. I'm going to bring up you, kiddo, because you got your shirt on, but love to see her spotlight I love to see her spotlight the other day on Facebook. That was a phenomenal deal. But we know how proud you are of these kids on and off the court, and that, you've given the time, and you're a legend around here, and we do appreciate you stopping by and talking to us tonight.
Well, that's funny. Call me a legend. Maybe someday. Oh,
no. You're already to that status, man. Okay. If anybody hung out with you for 5 minutes, they'd call you the legend too. Okay.
All right, then.
Well, thank you for stopping by, and we'll holler at y'all after the district tournament, okay?
All righty. Thanks a bunch.
Well, the best benefit in having True Benefits is the fact that they're easy. You can get a hold of them. It's not 2 days later, a week later, I can make a phone call. If they don't have the answer, they'll get us the answer within 24 hours.
He came to the office and interviewed all of our girls and did a presentation, told them what they were offering, and the girls were able to decide what they needed.
They came in and gave us options both for our company and our employees that were affordable and beneficial for all.
No matter the size of your business or your employees' needs, True Texas Benefits is the partner for you.
Because Ellis County knows the difference.
True Texas Benefits.
In Ellis County, we're always on the run. it's always good to know that someone's always there. Doesn't matter the time of day. With ATM Live, hours are always available. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can always pull right up and talk to someone live for that personal service. Or stop by and visit with the friendly folks inside. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC. Well, guess what else, County? We got the one, the only Coach Monreal from Ennis Baseball. And, Coach, let's just get off into, you got a big win the other night against Joshua. You played some massive games here, but every game your team's in. Just talk about the grit, the determination that your team has game in, game out.
A big part of it is I tell them all the time that, you got to weather the storm. You're going to have ups and downs of a baseball game, and the team that can kind of stay level and stay in the game and stay in the moment and understand what's going on. That's usually the team that, can come back and can stay in the game and not be the high and the low. And, I think early in the year we played some, we really haven't played anybody that's not a good baseball team. So you look at our record and it is what it is, but every game we have a chance to win. I mean, every game this year we could have won with a hit here or not a walk here or not an error here. And so it's just a matter of us playing a solid game, defensively, pitching, hitting, everything.
Well, like I said, preseason, right? Every one of these games y'all are in. And y'all took on a good Arlington Colt team early on in the season, won 3-2. You had a good game against Newman Forest. That was a pretty good big win there at 10-7. Royce City with the win. Marcus, that's a 4-1 game against a solid Marcus team. And then, of course, Mansfield, y'all are right there with them as well. Just talk about, the youth on the team and how, it's kind of like I'll go with cross country, right? It doesn't matter how good your first two runners are. It's those 4, 5, 6, 7 guys that are going to make the difference in your score. Talk about those guys a little bit lower in the lineup and what the expectation is them as we start headed for the turn.
And it was really good this last Joshua. We've kind of been scrambling and trying to find out who we are, and really against Joshua and even against Midlow. We're kind of starting to put things together. And it's even for us coaches too. Missing out that very first tournament, we only get to play one game when you're supposed to play 5 or 6. It does put you behind, and it puts you behind, especially when, we have some spots in the lineup that are kind of kids are still battling for them. And every day, it's a really good thing here at Ennis is that, we have some depth. And so I tell kids every day that, for you to be in the lineup, you're going to have to compete in practice. And there's been a few times this year where I've gone with a hot hand, whether it be in practice, where I thought, man, he's seeing the ball well this week. He hit well. We hit live this week. I'm going to go with him. And sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. But, our kids know. And like I said, it's not like you have 9 players and those 9 players are going to play. I think the last 2 games I played 15, 16 kids. And so it's just a matter of kids understanding that they may not be starting, but at the end of the day, if your number gets called in the 8th inning, you better be ready to rock and roll, right? That's a courtesy run, pitch run, lay a bunt down, or it's bases loaded with 2 outs and you're asked to go up there and hit. At some point in time, if I feel like you give us the best matchup with this team, I'm not scared to throw anybody in there. And it's different for a lot of kids because they're not used to that. And I know it's tough on them that, a lot of times they go and play and they go play all the time in the summer and, they're starting every game and doing all that. And, it's truthfully a team game here, at there in Ennis and at the high school ball. And, it's something that it takes a little bit for somebody to understand and feel and be like, you know what? All right, let's get going. So I think we're getting better at it. I really do. we have depth this year, so it's just a matter of us putting everything together.
Well, I know y'all had some big hits in that Midlothian game. It just seemed like y'all, just kept rallying back. But in that Joshua game, I mean, that thing goes until what, 10:30, 11 o'clock almost?
It was almost till midnight because we had us and the Joshua coaches kind of laughed about it. And there's a rule that says you can't start a game after midnight. You can finish a game after midnight, but you can't start. So I think at one point in time, it was like 11 something before we finished.
I couldn't remember because it was getting late and I'm old, man.
Yeah.
Trust me.
It was late. And the deal was, in that game right there, it's like I told our kids, I mean, it stinks that somebody had to lose that game. We had a big lead and we gave it up, and then we fought back and then got a lead and gave it up again and then got back up again. And so it was just a matter of, we just competed and somebody had to lose. And we came out on the, the short side of things. But it's like I told the kids at the end of the night, I said, man, I'm proud of the way y'all competed. And I said, that's going to win y'all a lot more games than you know it, of what you just went through. So,
well, and you've been in 3 marathon games right in a row as well.
Right.
High scoring, long innings. Just talk about how your student leadership is out there keeping everybody on the field in the game, and that never give up, that resiliency, that grit, that determination from that senior leadership.
We talk about it all the time, and we talk about, being a leader and how to lead. And the biggest thing I think you have to understand your teammates. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody, not everybody is the same exact person. So you really have to understand your teammates. And I have a group of leaders that, I've talked to, and I've talked to them quite a bit. Even at the high school, which is a good thing, our admin, they have a couple of leadership groups that, our athletic director and our principals help run. And there's a handful of my baseball players that are in these leadership groups. And we just talk about it a lot. And, we talk about, how to handle different situations. And not every situation is going to be comfortable, but you got to learn to deal with it. You got to learn to deal with the awkward conversations and learn to know who somebody is before you can, really lead that person. So we're starting to get there. It's starting to be a good thing. And I don't have any doubts that at the end of the year that we're going to be where we need to be.
Well, and you and I talked about this before, right? And we've had conversations over the years, stuff like that, just how tough this district really is. Not just from a player standpoint and playing baseball, but I would say that there's not a better group of coaches in any district in the state of Texas than what y'all have. And that means everybody's ready to go. Everybody's getting the best instruction they can. Just talk about how this district really makes a team, because I think you're going to hit your stride pretty soon. And the balls, we're talking about Dying Quail, stuff like that. But I think you are about to get there on that part. It's just how baseball goes sometimes. But, this district, it makes a man out of a baseball player, doesn't it?
Yeah, and not even out of the players, out of the coaches, getting into it, that all these kids are going to be coached up and they're going to know the situations. And if you think you're going to go into a game and that they're not going to have good scouting reports and spray charts and stuff like that, then, you probably don't need to be in this district. But you have so much experience in this district and, with all the experienced coaches and all that. And, I really try my best to give our players the best chance we have possible and put them in the best positions. And, that's one of the main reasons why I schedule the non-district that I do and the tournaments that I do. And, I want these kids to be able to put in those situations where, hey, it's a nail biter and you got to learn to win them and you got to learn to lose them too. So, you hate to lose a game, but early in the year, if you can win a game later in the season because you lost a 3-2 ball game to a good team, then, you learn from it. And we definitely take it and we learn from it. And, it's helped. And it's just, you better be ready. When you get into this district, you better be ready to play. Anybody can beat anybody any given day. And I know we said it, but our kids know it. our kids know it, and they know that they have to be on their A game. And it just, it's really, really good baseball, really good baseball.
It is. And that's a lot to do, like you said, these coaching staffs, your staff in particular. Talk about your assistants and how much they mean to the players and the program.
We're a little bit younger, but our coaching staff, especially with our pitching coach, Chris Lewis, he pitched at Ennis too. He wouldn't pitch in college. Left-handed pitcher, and it's kind of funny. We have two left-handed arms that are really pretty good. And we have the left-handed pitching coach too. It really meshes really, really well.
Yeah.
With Coach DeNova, who's another young coach, he's really, really good at scouting reports and knowing what to look for. And, the biggest thing is we do have some young coaches, but they want to learn. And so they're nitpicking and doing everything they can to get better. And, we even got a volunteer this year he's fresh out of playing college baseball at McMurray with Kyle Keever. And, every one of our coaches have played. And the biggest part is just being able to learn. Even me, I've been in this for a long, long time. And basically all I know is baseball. And, I try to learn as much as I can. And I think if you get to the point where you think you know it all, then you're going to get your butt beat. So
you got to remember, you're getting to the stage you're almost going to be called no coach pretty soon. You've been But no, I mean, does not having that young staff help a little bit in communicating with kids nowadays, knowing how to give the words to kids that they need to hear?
Yeah, it does. And it's kind of funny because, I've been doing this a while too as a coach, but, I'm one of the younger coaches, but on our staff, I'm an old guy. So,
yeah.
And they let me know quite a bit. Hey, whether it be how to fix my phone and how to do this and that on my iPhone, I don't know how to do that stuff. And so I have young coaches to help me out. It's kind of funny because we go into this district with, a lot of these older coaches, and here I am, a young guy, but then on our staff, I'm the old guy. So
yeah,
it definitely helps, it definitely helps with the atmosphere. And, we try to keep it fun. And I think that's one of the biggest things is when it comes to high school baseball, you have to take every opportunity you can, hit your fundamentals, and you can't waste time. And, I tell the kids all the time that baseball is full of, you got to do the same thing over and over when it comes to baseball. I mean, you got to take your ground balls, you got to take your fly balls, but at the biggest end of the day, you got to really take those reps seriously, and you got to really work on what you need to work on, because everybody has certain flaws where they field it or hit pitching. And that's what makes a baseball player good, is knowing your flaws and really working on them.
Well, I've always told people, it's a game of limiting mistakes. Normally the team wins that has the least amount of mistakes during the game. And it could just be something as simple as hitting a cutoff one time during the game. So, one of the biggest things, though, I see within your program, and I love about your program, is just the consistency of message, the consistency of the grind, and all that. Is that something that you learned early on that made you a better player when you were playing?
I really learned, to be brutally honest, through kind of my brother. My brother was assistant coach with me last year, and now he's assistant principal. He's assistant principal at Red Oak. But being a younger brother and having a brother who's, good at baseball and getting to do all these things, and to be brutally honest, he was a worker. He worked his tail off, and when it came to me, things kind of just came natural. Like, it came natural to me, and I didn't learn it. Realistically, I didn't learn it till I got into like my later years of high school. Whenever, I learned, hey, I got to work on what I need to work on. And then you get to college, and I tell these kids all the time, it don't matter what level you go, if you get the opportunity and you get the blessing to be able to go play college baseball, everybody can play. So what makes you different is knowing who you are as a baseball player, knowing what your flaws are, whether it be mentally or athletically, and working on them, and being able to handle it, of, hey, I'm not a starter, I'm not this or that. And, I learned it, later in high school, and first parts of college, and it's just the matter of sometimes you got to earn it. Sometimes you're not the guy, and sometimes you got to, just put your head down and work. And, and that's what I told the kids this year. I said, for our program this year at Ennis, we have probably the most depth I've had in a long time. And so I told them, I said, here's the deal. Some of y'all aren't going to be playing. They could be very easily a starter. And so how you handle that's going to make us either a good or a bad team. And that's, it's difficult for a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid to handle that. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
We're getting better at it. And, it really is a team sport. I know we lost on Friday, but I think in like the 8th or 9th inning, I had a guy that has been in the lineup for me that is, wasn't in the lineup on the day, but he came to the 8th inning, and I needed a situation where I needed somebody to come in and lay down a sac bunt, and he got his number called, and third pitch, he lays down a perfect sac bunt. And it's just stuff like that I really, really appreciate where I'm at. And, I appreciate these kids, and I tell them how proud I are. How proud I am of them just being able to handle that. Because I know it's not easy. I've been there, I've done that, and I know it's not easy. So, but we're getting better and better and better at it. And, the deal is I tell them all the time, you don't have to, not playing, but you got to work at it, and you got to understand, hey, this is what I need to work at. This is what I'm doing. And even though I'm not playing, I'm going to be the best teammate I can. And I know it sounds cliche, but if you want to have a good team, you got to have kids to do it. So hopefully that message gets across, and hopefully they understand it and they get that.
And one of the big things to me out of this conversation right here is just every team you ever see, there's always that one kid that's there first on the field, and he's the last one to leave. Who is that for you, and how is that helping their game and their leadership qualities?
Man, honestly, this year it's really a ton of them. For me to single out one person would be too hard. I mean, and it's funny because, I'll tell the story and kids will see it and know what I'm talking about. But the expectations are a little higher this year, and I think that's part of the deal we got going on is, last year we didn't really – people didn't really expect us to do much. And I knew what we were capable of last year.
Yeah.
And I told them I knew what we could do. And with this year, you have a little bit of expectations. And I told the kids, I was like, you got to quit thinking about that and take a day at a day and game a game. And, you just got to keep working on what we got going. And just talk about our leadership a little bit is, we have a volunteer coach, Coach Keever, that's helping us. And he's new to the program as well. And one of our very first practices, we had a player show up, and he wasn't late, but he was only about 5 minutes early. And, he wasn't late, but some of the kids, kind of told him and got into him a little bit. And, not to the point to where it was excessive, but when it happened, our coach kind of looked at me and was waiting for me to do something. And I kind of looked at him and I said, I'll do something when it needs to be done. But if you have a bunch of players, coaching players, that's what you want in a program. If you have to be the bad guy all the time as a coach and have to be the yeller and screamer and do all that, then it's hard for you to coach as good as you can. And that's what I tell the kids. And so every now and then, if there is a confrontation and, there is something that gets a little heated. Am I saying it's right? No, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying these kids, that hopefully one thing that I can teach them when they get out of here is they can learn how to handle that. And the biggest thing, they can learn how to say, hey, my bad. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. But you need to be here on time. And for the other kid to be able to say, hey, my bad. Won't happen again. I'll get here on time. And I think that's what I want to get these kids to understand, that those conversations aren't easy, and being able to do that, isn't natural. But if you can, in the long run, it's going to make you such a better person, and that's hopefully something they can take away from the game of baseball. And here in Ennis, the game of the baseball program, they can take with them wherever they go, is to be able to handle those conversations. Hey, my bad, my fault. it won't happen again, and being able to handle that. So hopefully it's helping. No, I think it is.
Oh, it definitely is. And like I've told you before, I love your demeanor on the field. You're never up, never down really till that last out. But does that not just give the kids a sense of, do you think that and the way that your staff has been over the past couple of years, being consistent in the dugout, consistent, coming out and talking to them at the mound, whatever it may be, is that consistency probably more important nowadays with these players? Because, we see all the home runs on ESPN and everybody always shows the big play instead of saying that base hit was beautiful. We got to run it from first to third, et cetera.
And that's, we talk about it quite a bit, especially for us. And, the biggest thing that I try to get to my kids, and it's like I told a kid the other day, he got a base hit to score a run. And he was so excited to get that base hit to score a run that he almost didn't take second on an overthrow on a cutoff, because he was excited about scoring the first run and doing this and that. And, I preached to him that once you get that big hit or once you get that big play or whatever, there's something else you got to do, and you got to get to that next read, and you got to understand what's going on. Because at the end of the day, if you get caught up in the moment of, oh man, I just got this hit and blah, blah, if you get caught up in that moment, then you're realistically, you're not helping your team as much as you can, because you can take an extra base, but instead you're caught up in the moment. And I tell them all the time, don't get caught up in that moment. Am I saying that when the play's done that you can't be excited? No. But in that moment, go on to the next thing. The next thing, you got another job to do. It's really helped us in the past couple of years.
Awesome. Well, this coming week, you start off Tuesday away at Red Oak. Then you'll be back at home. And then you got a Saturday game this coming week with Waxahachie.
That'll be we have a bye week this week.
Yeah. I'm sorry, my bad. I read the wrong deal.
Yeah,
but your next games will be Red Oak. Does this bye week prepare you for – because like we talked about before, this is a race to 7, okay?
Yes.
And I give you a week to kind of clean up, get ready for Red Oak, play your back-to-back with them, and then fine-tune some things for that last run with Waxahachie?
Yeah, it really gives you, for us, we go back to – we kind of see what our flaw is as a team, and we go and work on it. We go back to the fundamentals, and we call it that. I tell them at the end of Friday or the bye week, hey, it's time to go back to the fundamentals of what we need to work on. We work on us. We don't care about anybody else. We work on us. And for coaches, it gives us a chance to go scout. On Tuesday and Friday, and we get to go look and watch teams play and get some more spray charts and. Kind of get ourselves the best position we can, put these kids in to be able to go win a game. So, it definitely helps. And then, it also gives the kids a little breather too. Because a lot of people don't understand that. Like last week, you look at it with us getting ranked out. We played, a varsity game on Wednesday, JV game on Thursday, varsity game on Friday, and then JV games on Saturday. So it's back to back to back to back to back. So, every now and then, these kids need a break too. So we'll get back to it. We'll get them on it. We'll get back going. And, I think really how well you handle your bye week, really shows what you did. And we're going to get back at it and get back underneath it. And, one thing that we kind of do here is we'll have an inter squad underneath the lights at about regular game time to kind of get that feeling back and get all that. So, it's good for us. And we're excited to get back to playing. And, we haven't played bad, but we just haven't got the big hit yet. We haven't got the big play yet. We haven't got the big strikeout yet. So we'll get there.
Well, and one thing impressive about your program is you see a lot of your kids at different games during their bye week. Those kids are out doing some of their own scouting. And for a coach, does that not mean a lot to you? Like if you're out scouting a game, maybe they don't know you're there, right, during the bye week. And all of a sudden you see 2 to 3 players coming up, watching a kid that's going to be – y'all might be playing coming back off the bye, just to see what the pitching looks like, et cetera. Does that not show that your program is making those initiations to those kids to do your own homework?
And that's one thing that we tell the kids that for a big part of it is, they want to be good. They want to be baseball smart. They want to do that stuff. And there's been times this year where, I have had kids come up to me and tell me, in the middle of the game, hey, coach, he's doing this. He's doing this. Do you care if I take it on this and that? Talking about whether it be running bases or hitting or doing this and that. And it's just something they've picked up along the way. And it's something that, to be honest, this is the first team that I have a good group of kids that are baseball guys that really, really, really love the game and really, really love learning about the game. And it's a really cool thing to see. It's just because baseball, for a lot of times, what we see is the flashy baseball.
Yeah.
You don't see the, like our first game against Joshua. What really got us over the hump was run our first and second, and we got a bunt hit down third baseline. You don't see that much anymore. And so it's that stuff that makes me proud, is that these kids, they want to learn. They want to get, they want to do that stuff. So, I'm excited for the future. And, once we get more of these, more of this game time filled to us, I think we're going to hit our stride. So, and it's not like we're right there, we're right there. So,
folks, if you don't get his point, you're looking at in district, that was a 3-2 game. The first one to Midlothian. Okay. And then it was a 4-3. And then we had a 15-11 to Joshua. Every one of these games is probably just one hit away or just one little extra base from being an Ennis win right now. And, but that's how the season goes, and that's how you grow a team. And Coach, how much we respect you here and all that you do, because you're not only making baseball players, but you're making men. And that's the end goal of almost everything. But it's a sport where you can really delve into each player, and we appreciate all that you do and your staff does to, do these kids right here in Ellis County.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate y'all and what y'all do and kind of bring the highlights of Ellis County. It's something that when I left here, there was a handful of us that I graduated with that, we ended up playing at the same conference. And that's one thing we took with us. We were Ellis County boys. And it's special to us. So I appreciate y'all.
In Ellis County, you know where to go for the best pizzas and burgers.
Welcome to Doe City. How are you doing today?
A menu that allows you to have it just the way you like it. Great, friendly customer service. And all the toppings you can handle. So what do our customers say about Doe City?
We come up here all the time, so we love the pizza and the burgers also.
It's somewhere we can all come and have a good time with our friends and enjoy the good food that they have here. I love the fries.
And it's cooked to order, so you're always going to get it fresh.
Doe City's always a great place to come and hang out with your friends.
Whether it's Tuesday or Friday night after a ball game in Ellis County, guess what? You can always make it over and have a little bit of delicious.
It's delicious.
Delicious. It's delicious.
So come in or order out at Doe City Pizza and Burgers in Red Oak, Texas. Kenny, guess what? We got Midlothian tennis coming here. We got Ken and we got Adriana, and they're getting ready for district right now to finish this year out. Adriana, how's the team looking? What's going on? What are you excited about?
The team's looking pretty good. We have a pretty solid team. We are very strong with work ethics and all. And I think we've got a solid chance of winning district, at least.
Nice. Well, Cannon, from the boys' side, what's it look like?
Man, it's pretty solid all around. We got a lot of boys just all right there with each other. We're all staying strong, and we're on the same level of play and stuff, and we're all kind of keeping up and doing our own thing, and just enjoying the year out and being competitive.
Well, Adriana, when we talk about the girls right now, as far as how everything's been set up for the brackets, you got women's division, you got men's division, then you have mixed doubles right now, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like the ladies are really strong. They're at the top of the brackets, and it's setting Midlothian up for a good run in this district deal Because normally we're somewhere in the middle on the brackets. This year, the ladies are taking the top seeds. How might that help y'all as a team as you go into this?
As a team, as we go into this, I think having all the girls on the team are pretty, we all get along. We push the boys. So I think us having that strong work ethic will definitely push the boys to the victory as well, and everyone overall.
And Camden, the boys are up there a little bit higher than normal this year in the bracket, getting up there. Y'all got a little bit of a task ahead of you, because what I've seen is Corsicana and Ennis men's is ranked really high this year on their team play. Talk about how y'all might be able to overcome some of the things with both those teams.
Honestly, I think just staying persistent. I think a lot of us here in Midlothian, we're able to stay consistent and just keep being persistent as well, and just continuing to fight and keep, whatever circumstances may affect you, whatever challenges that come to you. I think that we have been taught how to deal with that, and to actually just hey, you just got to keep going forward and keep trying your best,
Well, and Adriana, I know you play mixed doubles, right? So those are the teams, when it all wraps up, it seems like those are the teams that can make or break a district championship run. You can kind of split here, you can split there, but those are some wild card teams. How do y'all take the pressure of, adding those points? Because they are valuable, very valuable.
Well, I'd say, honestly, it's the same thing. We just have to keep being persistent, keep telling ourselves, you just got to grind it out, because Sam has always taught us, especially in Midlothian, to never beat down on yourself, or else that's where the mentality of tennis really gets you. So just got to keep going.
Well, Cannon, being under Coach Wrinkle's tutelage, I never see him. He seems like he's stressed the whole time he's coaching y'all during practice. Okay. And he's going 90-0. He's going crazy. And then it gets to a match. And it's just, to me, it's not as much. He drops it down a little bit and does a great job of that, taking the pressure off y'all. But it's more calm or more hype. Like if y'all get a big point, he's going to be right there in your ear, but it's a little bit more calm. How does that diversity of coaching styles help y'all out?
I think it just allows for when you're going out and playing a match, it allows you, like you said, it just takes off pressure, because when you're practicing, you're out there to get better, getting a little bit better every day. But when you go into a match, it's like you prepared for this. There's nothing else you can really do. You just go out and play. And I think he just kind of sets that mood very well of hey, he'll be around to coach and maybe give some pointers, just reminders. But for the most part, it's what you were doing throughout the week to prepare for this, So I think he just does a really good job of keeping that kind of mindset, just the way he carries his body and all the body language he shows, and just but he still coaches throughout the match, still lets you know. So yeah, I think he does a really good job of keeping it diverse like that, just to take the pressure off during the match.
Well, Adriana, you've been with him a while. What is one of the goofiest things that you could tell anybody about Coach Wrinkle?
The goofiest thing?
Yeah, what's one of the goofiest things he's ever done with y'all?
I think in general, overall, it's Coach Sam thinks he's one of the funniest guys in the world. He'll tell some really stupid dad jokes, and no one will laugh, and then he'll explain the joke a little bit, and then, sometimes we have to give him a laugh just so he's happy. But, he has a great sense of humor. It's nothing wrong. It's just – it's funny.
Well, Kaden, you got a good Coach Wrinkle story?
A good coach. Okay. Well, I will just say he has some funny road rage, as I would call it. We were actually last Friday, we went to Waco to play a match, and the roads were it was crazy. People driving in, and there was these two cars that I guess were having literal road rage with each other, people trying to cut each other off. And Sam's just up there just what are these people doing? And it's just a funny time seeing him get angry at other situations and stuff. Other than that, I think just kind of a recurring joke he kind of has that I personally find funny is people will start telling a story or something about how something happened, and he'll just be no, it didn't, no, and he'll just refute it no matter what. And to me, I just find that hilarious.
That's pretty funny. Well, I'll tell you what, Adriana, when you look at this team, right, And I love the fact of watching tennis, watching golf. You know, the teams that, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people don't make it out to. You are playing during the day most of the time and things like that. But talk about the camaraderie that's built because you don't have those outside influences, because y'all are spending so much time together.
I think in general, we're, like you said, we're not used to having that audience like maybe football and soccer has, but in general, we have such a great team morale that we don't need those audiences to feel good or to play better tennis. Like, we're always cheering each other on. That's something I think Midlothian really prides on, is our team morale. We're always cheering each other on. Like, I mean, overall, like, we'll have full on all 8 courts cheering something at the same time. And it's really great because we don't need that outside audience to help us be better players. And I think that's something really good about Midlothian.
And, you know, going off of that right there, right? You don't need the outside influence, but how great is it because y'all get loud. I don't think people realize how that small group gets really loud really quick, okay? But how great is it to hear your teammates and that little burst of a roar when you win that point?
It's really amazing because I honestly, like, I hate to admit it sometimes, but sometimes when the other team starts cheering for their opponent or their team or whatnot, it gets to me a little bit. I try not to let it affect me, but it's just amazing hearing people, you know, go out and burst and we're like, yeah, you know, especially when I personally loved it too. And I was like, man, that was a great point. I'm so glad I won that. And yeah, the other people out there cheering you on, it's a nice feeling to have. It keeps you a little bit confident, I would say.
Well, and Adriana, you know, y'all got UTRs, but this year y'all did something even better, which is you hosted the first annual invitational here. Talk about that and what it meant to you to be a part of the group that's starting that tradition.
I think it definitely I don't know, it was just fun to be like, yeah, this is our home courts and we're hosting this really cool thing. And I know Coach has told us we got a lot of compliments on our respect and whatnot. And everyone enjoyed, you know, the moms worked really hard. The whole committee worked really hard to get us a really fun and eventful day with lots of, you know, food supplied. And it was just a really fun day. It was really fun to be like, yeah, this is our home, this is our courts, and this is what we do here.
Well, in Camden, y'all host a ton of UTRs there. How does that, you know, help the program, not only by playing, but also provide experience for some of your younger players that may not be on varsity yet, maybe in junior high? And talk about that. And I mean, I imagine you wish that was around a lot earlier.
It's really nice. It's not like too troublesome either because it's like hosted once a month and there's usually singles and doubles. It's really nice though for those younger players because they get to, first of all, you play people around their same skill level, if not better. And it just gets them like if they're not on varsity yet, maybe it gets them a little bit of varsity type experience. Some of the players they may play may be people who are on varsity for other schools. And it's just local too. So it's within the community, you know, schools nearby, anybody who wants to come by and just play. So I think it definitely helps with getting some of that experience because I do think there's a difference between playing on varsity and not. I mean, I've played on JV and I've played on varsity, and there's definitely like a different kind of experience to that, and that definitely comes to help. And I think the UTRs just really help kind of show you that sometimes, and it's just fun. It's fun community play that you just get to enjoy, you know, once a month.
Awesome. Well, Adriana, let's go to you with the ladies team first, okay? Who's that ladies team that you would tell anybody making it out there, you got to keep your eye on this team?
That's a hard one. I'd say in our district, definitely.
No, for y'all, just for y'all.
Like
for Midlothian.
Girls to watch out for?
Yeah, who's that girls team right now that, like, if you had a moment, right, and you could go watch any girls team from Midlothian play, who's going to be that team that might lead the way or get those points, you know, and win that match that some people may not think they would, might be able to sneak up on somebody?
Oh, definitely Gwen Robinson. She's a freshman on our team, and I mean, she's definitely easily one of our top players on the girls' side. She looks teeny tiny and she looks so friendly, but she packs a punch for sure. She wins all those points.
Okay. And Kenan, what about the guys' side?
The guys' side, who would I say? Can you repeat the question again? Just
kind of, who, if you had a moment, would you want to go watch and not miss that match from a guys doubles team, right? Because it might be a team that just sets the pace for y'all, or it might be a team that maybe is that third or fourth group, that comes in and is going to steal some points.
For guys doubles teams, I would have to go with Kaylin and Brock. They're our tarp doubles team, and first of all, they're just a lot of fun to watch. But they just are kind of like silent killers, I guess you would say. They don't really talk a whole bunch, but man, do they play really well, and they have really good just overall like playing strats, and they just play really well together. And so that would be a match I would not want to miss.
Awesome. Well, Adriana, what's one of the best things that you would tell a young lady out there? And I know you kids don't normally think about this, but y'all have little kids come out, see y'all playing and stuff like that. And, they look up to y'all because, A, you're in high school, you get to stay up past 10, right? So you're pretty darn cool right there. But what does it mean to be somebody out there that little kids look up to and go, I want to play like her one day?
It definitely means a lot to me because I have 4 little sisters. I know that a lot of influence comes from older people, whether it's a family member or not. I just hope that they see that not everything has to be so serious in tennis. Overall, it's really just a game, and it's something that you should enjoy, not just take pride in for, winning. Obviously, winning is something fun, but you definitely need to have some joy in playing tennis.
What about you, Cannon?
It's a lot of fun for me. I kind of have differing views to Adriana. I definitely take more pride in winning and stuff like that, and I definitely really want to win. I also understand it's a game, and there's no point in getting super upset about it, nothing like that, because ultimately I'm also there to have fun and be competitive. That's what I get my joy out of. What I do think, though, for the most part is important to me in terms of setting examples for little kids is just how you are on court, the type of sportsmanship, conduct, and just the type of manners you have, how you talk to your opponent, what you do after points when you're winning or losing, and just stuff like that. I think the actual game of tennis is something they can, learn and get better at on their own. And of course, watching other people that are better than you is always great. So I try to play my best, try and show off every now and again.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Little spinning backhand over the net, something like that.
Yeah.
There we go.
But definitely, I think just the sportsmanship and just your manners on court is really what I would say is important for that. And I take pride in showing good manners as a role model for other people.
Well, and I think, Adriana, one of the big things that is a misconception is that tennis programs are, I don't think people realize how many years y'all have made these accomplishments going to by district, all these types of things. What does that mean to you as you get, as your career moves on and y'all are leaving a legacy every time you add to that? What does that mean to y'all?
Honestly, like he said, not like a lot of people don't recognize that we do make these accomplishments every year. And so I know Coach Sam says like that should just drive you even more to keep making these accomplishments. So, we don't get much recognition as much as we'd want to, but.
Hey, no. But it's just, y'all are leaving a pretty darn good legacy behind here. Mm-hmm. And you got the ability, Cannon, to build on that legacy this week. You got an Ennis team out there that's just been holding the trophy for a long, long time. What's it going to take to get over the top and take that away from them?
It was kind of like what I said earlier, just, being persistent and just be wanting to win. Whether or not they've been on top or not shouldn't really matter to me. Everyone can lose, and we're definitely just as good as them. We just got to keep pushing, and have that will and drive to win, So, as Sam would say, I'm going to quote him. He would be, you got to have a fire in your belly, you got to have that drive to just win. I definitely think it's possible. It's not impossible or anything like that. It's not like they've been up there, for the last 100 years or anything like that. It's just, it's a matter of really wanting it and driving for it. And, you have the bad days and you have the good days, and you just got to do what you can to get better every day.
Adriana, before Candy came on, we talked about trying to get Coach Sam into something. Do you really think we can go with him shaving his beard if y'all bring home this district title?
I really, really hope so. I mean, I feel like either way, if he's proud enough of us, we can get him to do it. And I hope so.
Okay. Well, I'm going to text him right after this. So, but y'all too, thank you for coming on. Folks, I will tell you, these kids work just as hard as any sprinter, any football player, any soccer player, that they go 365 on this thing. There's no breaks. There's really no changes for them. I would hate to see how many balls y'all hit on those courts in a career. I mean, that would be unreal to count that. Bucket after bucket after bucket. But from us to y'all, we really do appreciate all the things that y'all do for our community. Y'all do a lot of stuff. Whenever there's canned food drive, Midlothian Tennis is always going to be there. Anytime the city needs something, Midlothian Tennis is involved. And it's just a great thing to see these young folks, the folks at Ennis, the folks at Corsicana. These tennis players are well above your average student. The GPAs of most of these kids are unheard of, to be honest with you, and they're doing a sport that requires so much time. So when you see a tennis player, make sure you give them some love because they're working hard to support you and your school. Thanks again for coming by, and we do appreciate you.
With today's busy schedules, we need flexibility. Pinnacle Bank is the way banking should be. With ATM Live, powered by the people. They have hours that make it easy. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can just pull up to one of the easy-to-access ATMs, where there's always someone live, friendly, and knowledgeable to help you. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
Guess what else, Kenny? We got to lay. I can't say that. I forget. They're just the Jaguars, but it's the women's softball team. Coach Bradley, introduces to your players here.
Well, tonight we've got Izzy Barrientos, who's our catcher. Wave, Izzy. And Zoe Zachary, who is our pitcher. Both of them are sophomores this season. And the other ones were scared to come on, so these are the two brave souls that dared get on the Zoom call.
Well, Izzy, you've got to be brave to catch, right?
That's
so
right.
That already shows where you're at. Talk about being part of a young battery, pitcher-catcher combo, and after all the success Heritage has had over the years, coming in as sophomores and just taking that mantle over from somebody like, the pitcher and catchers that were there before.
I mean, it's definitely different because we are like the younger ones on the team. But I think it helps because even like with the older girls and younger girls, it just shows different age groups are able to get along, especially if like the catcher and the pitcher are the sophomores. You have to be able to communicate with your team, whether or not they're younger or older than you. And I think it's a little scary, but we got used to it because just this season, we've all gotten really close.
Well, Zoe, I've got you down right now for 63 strikeouts on the year thus far. So I'm probably within at least 10. Just talk about having the confidence and working with your catcher and, working on what these batters like and don't like. And then also just getting a good target and having that relationship to build that confidence off the rubber.
Well, like it said, it does help having a good relationship with your catcher. And then Coach Bradley having a good relationship with the coach because he calls the signs and everything. And I think that helps.
Okay. Well, Coach Bradley, we start out this year 11-8-1 thus far, 2-0 in district. You got a lot of district games coming up. You got one more non-district, I think. But just talk about the girls to this point, 11-8-1. You got to be doing some things really good right there.
Yeah, we've been, we always talk about early in the season, you're trying to find our identity as a team. And, you switch the lineup and you just see what the best fit is because, you want to be playing at your highest level when you're in district play heading into the playoffs. So again, we've had to replace some key components from last year. And, our biggest focus this year was just the culture of the team, being all in it together, playing hard for each other. And, this group has really bonded and has really grown close, like Zoe was saying, and it shows in how we play. There's been games when we've gotten down and we fought our way back, and they just never quit. And it's because they love each other and they want to play hard for each other. And I just feel like our best softball is yet to come.
Well, and Izzy, when you take over from this other team, right, you look back a little bit and you start looking at the culture that's been built by teams before you. How much does that culture play into what y'all do? And how much do y'all look back to them and say, hey, these are some things they did really good. Let's take these and let's add our own spin onto it.
I mean, it's definitely different from the past. These girls, somehow we just all wanted – the year before was not the best because it was a lot of adversity, and it is with this year too. But the older girls who stepped up to the role of, the girls that were gone, they were like, it's not going to be like last year. Like, we want this to be where we're happy and excited to come to practice so we can all, be together. And just knowing that you're there for each other and y'all are friends in and outside of school, it just helps a lot, especially with playing. And I think that's one of the things that is a lot different this year. And, we looked back on it and we took some of the things that are like, maybe we shouldn't do this, or maybe we should do this. And one of the things I would say is just talking to everybody. Like last year, like if you didn't know somebody, you'd kind of just be shy and just stick to those few people. But this year, I think everyone's made their way, came out of their way to say hi in school or out of school. And I think even that little hi, it just helps a lot.
Gotcha. Well, Zoe, one of the big things is being out there by yourself. I know you feel like you're just lonesome as it could be, right? But how good is it having a group that's willing to talk this year behind you and hearing those words of encouragement?
Yeah, it's really inspiring because last year, really nobody would talk, or some people would talk in the field, not everyone. But this year, I think it's a lot different because everybody is encouraging. When we huddle up, we're all just happy and supporting each other, giving positive thoughts.
Well, Coach, you got Jalen batting .529, 15 stolen bases, Taylor right there with her, Rodriguez at 452, 619 OBP thus far from the stats that I read. But this year, not a lot of home runs to start the season off with. You're doing it in a different way, it seems like. You're not worrying about the Powerball. You do have some triples and some doubles, but it seems like y'all are just going station to station right now. And how great is it to have the diversity in a team to be able to kind of play different styles of ball?
Oh, it's been, we talked about it going into the season. We were replacing 3 seniors that were, next level players, Liz and Zoe and Joe Windsor. They were all 3 really good ball players, and they were right up the middle, catcher, pitcher, shortstop. And, we did have home runs from those spots. But this year, overall, our team speed is better. I feel like we're playing. We can play small ball. They've really bought into their approach at the plate because a lot of pitchers are going to throw off speed, throw away, and you got to stay inside the softball and go with the pitch. And you got to be disciplined in order to hit good pitching. And this group has really bought into that. And it's a daily. You have to work at it daily. I mean, it's not something that you can just do one day and get good at it. It's something you got to continue to work. And so we're offensively, I feel like we base it off the strength of the pitcher, obviously. And, we adjust our game plan off of that. But we've been really good at manufacturing runs and finding ways to get base runners and put pressure on defenses.
Well, and Izzy, does that not make you feel like, when you get up there and you need to move a runner and everybody's moving everybody around, does that not just, everybody's doing their job? Is that not just the greatest feeling in the world? Because I've seen y'all twice this year play, and the 2 times I got to come see y'all, it seemed like even when somebody laid down a sack bunt, they're hustling out, trying to get that base hit out of it. But everybody knew they got their job done, and we're just rallying around them in the dugout.
Oh, I love when everyone, I mean, obviously there's going to be times where we can't do something, and that's okay. People just, will make up for it or will try and help. And when it does happen, even if I were to get out and somebody got home, I'm like happier than I would be if I was safe. Like, I'm just like, great, like one score, let's go again. And like, it's a great feeling whenever you come into the dugout, and even if you didn't do so well, you're still like excited and supportive because of your other teammates.
Awesome. Well, and Zoe, Coach just mentioned team speed, which y'all got a lot of it in the outfield. Okay. I think the highest ranked player is a 981 with the glove out there right now. But talk about the comfort level that having a really fast outfield gives you as a pitcher.
Can you repeat that question again? Sorry.
Sure. So how does having a fast outfield make you feel as a pitcher? Like if they're able to tag one, you've got a fast enough outfield to pretty much run down anything.
Yeah, so when I see a ball go in a gap, I'm like, oh, my goodness. And then I think, like, we have Jaden and Tacey and Hannah. We have different people out there that are fast. And I'm like, okay, they're going to catch it, so I'm good. And when they catch it, I'm, like, happy. I'm cheering everything because I'm excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Coach, what do you think is the biggest difference in this team this year to you? Is it the personalities? Is it the team speed? Is it just the willingness to do the little things?
Well, last year, we were very young in some spots, and that's intimidating to be on the varsity with an experienced group. And so we were just basically the whole year trying to find our way and trying to find, the right fit for everyone. And so, when they talk about, the culture and the things, it was a tough dynamic because you had such old girls along with, the freshman girls. And so it's just a big gap in age. And this year, I just feel like, everybody's bought into doing things the right way. And just like Izzy said, if I give a stack bunt to a girl that's, has been hitting the ball, but I feel like at that moment, we need to get runners moved to generate some momentum. There's no question. They just get the bunt down. And that's the key, is playing team softball and doing it for the other person. And I feel like this group has done that. And they've just bought into playing for each other. And as a coach, that's what you want. You want unselfish play. You want girls that are in it for each other. And if that's happening, you're hard to beat.
Yeah, you are. Well, Izzy, when we talk about teams and stuff this year, it seems like, last year there was a little bit more team bonding that happened since COVID and stuff. But this year, y'all are actually free to sit anywhere on the bus, all that great stuff. Do you think that makes it a little bit easier to develop that, kind of camaraderie?
Yes, I do. I mean, sometimes there will be some of us, we won't sit by each other just like to get focused or just, to do homework or anything. But when we are, especially after a game, and if we win, Coach Bradley, he'll turn on the music for us. And so when we're just back there, like still together, still like happy and cheering, it makes it easier. Like, okay, we like doing this, like, let's keep doing it more. And, even if games or plays don't work, like that's not going to affect us of being excited and being supportive, especially on the bus or in the dugout.
That's a great answer right there. Well, Zoe, one of the big things is this year, it just seems like, to me, right, the defense has gotten even tighter. Now, Coach, you can correct me on this, but I really think the couple times I saw y'all, people were flashing some leather pretty darn good. Talk about, from a pitching standpoint, I love talking to pitchers about, what do you think is your weakest point on your defense behind you? Okay. And what are some of the things from a pitcher standpoint that you might be doing, throwing a little bit more outside instead of inside to help them out a little bit?
Okay. Some, they have different positions where they hit the hardest. So like a hitter that will pull, I'll pitch them outside so he can get an easy ground ball to someone. And then if I do miss my spot and get a hard ground ball and like someone makes a really good play, I'm cheering for them and everything because it's it's good to see that. But I just need to hit my locations to get the best plays we can get.
Awesome. Coach, that is one thing I love about your team. It seems like you are focusing on the basics, not day in, day out. And those little basic things like cutoff throws. I know most kids in high school don't think that's a big deal, but it saves runs left and right. How much do I know you spend a lot of time on making sure the fundamentals are covered, but has that not really paid off through your program to this year as far as the defensive alignment and stuff?
I feel like it has. In the games we haven't played well, I mean, we've talked about it. We weren't ready to go from the start, and we can always tell from how we warm up to how we do our partner drills that, I tell them the most important part of practice is playing catch. If you can play catch, you're going to win a lot of games. And, if there's times we're not focused, we may have to do a little focus poll at the first of practice just to get us right. But they understand that. They know, that's my job to get them focused. And they've done a really good job of buying into that. And I don't have to police it as much because they take pride in it. And when you do that, you are going to make defensive plays. And so we talk about it all the time. If Zoe hits her spots and we make routines behind her, a routine plays behind her, and we put the ball in play on offense, we're going to be in every game we play. And we have been. And so, yes, our fundamentals, that's why we do it every day. We're going to play catch. We're going to do our partner drills. It's daily. And, if we don't do it the right way, then we start over and we do it again because, it's just that's how important it is. Because if you don't take pride in that, it's going to show up. We always say that, in game situations, your preparation is going to show up. How you practice will be on display on game night. And it's true.
Very much so. Well, and ladies, just so y'all know, in the rest of Ellis County, first person I had ever heard say you got to play catch to play the game was Ozzie Newsom. Y'all probably don't even know who that is, but he's a pretty good infielder. But no. So, Izzy, what's the biggest thing that you're most happy about this year's team thus far?
Honestly, probably just us cheering in the dugout. Like when we're all just hype and us like being hype somehow just makes us do good. I don't know. It's like when we're all excited and we're all doing something, it's like we want to keep it going. And so like when it does happen, we just like we want it even more. And I think that wanting it in the game, like to win or to get a hit, is a big thing. And so this year, honestly, I don't know. I mean, kind of what I said, just
spark, right?
Yeah. It's just when we're having fun and we're doing good. It's just, that's honestly the best thing this year so far.
Well, and Zoe, bouncing off that, is it not easier to win when you're having a good time and not being tight and just staying loose?
Yeah, it is, because everybody is in the same position. We're all excited, having positive thoughts, positive energy, and we're all on the same page.
That's pretty good right there. And Zoe, one last question for you, okay? Y'all got a 7th grader coming over to Heritage pretty soon with the first name with a Z. Take over pitching when you're done?
I didn't hear about that, actually.
No, it was just a joke. It was just a joke.
Okay.
It was just a joke. That was just a joke. That's because those.
We welcome any pitchers.
I don't know.
Zoe pitched a lot.
Yeah. No. With 63 strikeouts this early, she's pitching a lot. Let me tell you. I think it's something like what, Coach? 65 innings, somewhere around there so far. Yeah, but no, Coach.
I tell the kids all the time. I was like, we'd love to play different positions. We're a little bit limited with our pitching staff right now, so she has to be the person in the circle. So, and she's done a great job. That's the thing I love about her is whether it's good or bad, her demeanor never changes, and that she's never going to be pointing fingers at someone else. She's just going to pitch, and that's what the girls love about her, and that's why they want to play so hard behind her. And and she's getting better every game, and it's because she's bought into doing the little things right and getting better, like she said, at locating her pitches. So,
well, Coach, and I know this is a big part of it. And ladies, I'm gonna swing back to y'all real quick. What is it like for playing for Coach Bradley? You know, had the chance to see him talking to a former athlete that he used to be around all the time, and Lexi Ball, and the amazing things that she did. But just what does it mean to you to play for him? Izzy, we'll start with you first.
I mean, I've only played with him for 2 years now because we're both sophomores. So the 2 years, it's just like been crazy how close I can be. Like I can just talk to him anywhere, anytime about anything. And being able to like play for a coach, like, you know, like he cares and he wants to help you and you're just like able to go to him to anything. I think that's just a really big thing that I have, like being able to play for him.
Thank you, Zoe.
He's every day he's trying to get you better no matter what. And that's one thing that you want from a coach, no matter what you do, or you want him to be trying to help you get better. And that's what he does every day.
That's all you can expect from Coach, right? But Coach, go over the next couple of games y'all got so people can make it on out there, and we can get a big cheering section for y'all out there at the ballpark.
Well, Tuesday night is as big as it gets. We play Kennedale, who is really, really good, and we know it. But just like I told the girls, we're good too, and they're gonna get everything we've got. I can tell you that. And I know Coach Irby over there does a great job at Kennedale, and they've got you know, their two main hitters back, their pitchers back. I mean, they've just got a good squad back. And so we know what it's going to take to be in the game and to beat them. But, you know, we played pretty well at home as well. And so we're looking forward to the challenge, and we're going to be ready to compete. I can tell you that. And then we got Ferris on Friday night, and they're a good team as well. And you know, we had a high scoring affair with them at Ferris, and you know, they're never going to quit. They're going to continue to play, and that's what we talk about. You got to finish teams off. You know, we kind of had a couple big innings, but we just kept playing, kept scoring. That's the thing about these girls; they don't ever stop. They just keep fighting, and that's all you can ask is you keep competing. And at the end of the game, you know, you give yourself a chance to win, and that's what I'm so proud of about this group.
Well, I can tell you right now, I've heard the word relentless at least 1,000 times within the last 24 hours. And I will tell you, this team is relentless. So get out and check out the Jags. It's softball this year. They're going to put it to them.